what we wanted to discuss is the fact that you required the actual physical proximity of not just us, the teachers, but also with Dale himself. What we're trying to say is that you yourself are a very impressive person, and there are talents and thoughts and emotions in yourself that you've never had the physical presence of a person of peace, but also a person of wisdom. So we're saying you wanted to see and to feed and to be close to someone who could be both. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now here's what we mean by both. Okay? Patient and able to be upset if needed. Or it's required, or that's what's felt. So we're going to talk about a set of what appears to be opposing opposites. Someone that could be wise and yet hilariously funny. Someone that could talk about the don't get scared yet, okay? There we go. Is someone that could perceive the progression of people's lives through the passage of time, and then talk about, and then have a discussion about childhood diaper changing or premarital sex, or just to be comfortable with any topic.
Yes.
Because what you are attempting to repair is the connection between opposites that feel like they are totally different. We remind you that the earth vibration is of duality. And we're speaking we're not speaking of that which is the evil and the good. For these are two, these are in a different category. We're talking about more like what is the light and the dark, the male and the female, the wisdom and the humor, the seeing everybody and yet not being affected. So our suggestion would be to understand that realistically what occurred was the ability to see two opposing facts simultaneously and see how they're connected and relax and respond with what you felt like was the best. Do you understand?
Yes.
We've been instructing some about this in the heart chakra dancing meditation, where you see again we're talking about various ways to understand how the mind can appear to be separate or split. Do you understand?
Yes.
How it can seem as if there are irreconcilable, irrevocable, irreparable, unreconcilable differences. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yet in the world of duality, excuse me, one moment. Yet in the world of duality, you see an appearance is that it is more likely you would meet a person more like Jesus that would be a bum on the street than in an expensive car.
Yes.
However, there are more Jesus-like students that are millionaires than there are that are bums on the street. Yet, you would, because of your life, be more likely to bump into a Jesus-like figure who might also be a paranoid schizophrenic living in a box. And so you see, in the world of, in our world, these appearances are not disguises, but they reveal everything. Where in the world of duality, one must learn to see through what has been hurt, through the appearances, and reconcile the various demands of the duality of life. What we would consider or suggest that you consider doing is writing down a list of various things that you used to feel or you might still think are opposite, like clean versus dirty, and reconcile yourself into a more moderate understanding of the differences between, like, the sexes or the dualities. The second recommendation we would make is that you would create another list, and on that list you would write down what is truly narcissistic, evil, or criminal. We're talking about creating a list that what is evil and what is good. You see, one list, the first, is about acceptance of the dualities of life. The second list is what is truly evil or truly good. Do you understand?
Yes.
You understand the assignment, yes or no?
I believe so. I'm not so sure, to be honest.
So we're going to explain it again. Hold on. So what we're saying is, again, the first list is about the duality that has to be accepted. The second list is about irrevocable truths of what is good and what is evil. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, here comes the particularly interesting and difficult part. Do the first list, look at it. Do the second list and look at it, okay? You understand?
Yes, I do.
It's not so much that you would get it right, but you might have particular insights or viewpoints, or you might change things or add things or delete to the list. But there's a third list that's more important, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot do the third list till you do the first and the second, at least way somewhat. The third list is writing down where you got hurt about the difference. This list is just like comments, like 1, 2, 3. What we mean is how you got confused about the difference between duality and good and evil.
Oh.
But you got to do the first list and then review it, and then do the second list and then review it, and then compare the two lists. Because this is how you got damaged. Is, you see, some of the people that lived around you when you were a child, their behavior was not the best, but it's not into the scale of what would be considered truly harmful or evil. Do you understand?
Yes.
However, there was truly an evil priest in your village. Do you remember when you were small, a priest that suddenly got transferred to another place?
Yes.
This man was found out with the sort of things that the church is now paying millions of dollars in settling lawsuits in the United States. Do you believe this? This could be found in the records if you wanted to look, or there's no one alive that actually remembers the circumstances anymore. the people that were involved are all moved or dead or not in contact with any of your relatives. What we're saying is that this member of the priesthood was preying and running and feeding on young boys. And unfortunately, that behavior is evil. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Sexuality is a part of the duality of the world. But sexuality that causes serious long-term damage, that is not duality. That is not the suffering of the world. That is criminal, evil. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Now that's an extreme example, but what we're speaking about is that, you see, when you were a child, you did not understand what is simply having some fun, maybe having a drink, or drinking so much that you actually damage your family. Or, you see, this is what got complicated. It's a complicated world. What is good and bad, and what is merely the reflective of the duality? Now, as you work with these lists, and we are going to insist that you write them on the computer screen where you can look at them at least 2 or 3 mornings, okay? And just glance at them. Because what you're attempting to do is to understand very clearly, oh, that's just a part of the duality, and this is actually bad or evil. Do you understand?
Yes.
And how this has affected you is there's been confusion in the self. And you have never done evil but twice.
What was it?
We're going to keep you on the fence for a moment. Is you have never done evil but twice. Is all you have done is been ashamed of some of the duality of life. The evil that you have done twice is to hold yourself responsible for the deaths of your 2 husbands that died. And for many years or months, you actually considered it was your fault, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And this was a shameful, abusive evil that you did to the self. That's why your recovery from it had such vicious language where you found yourself raping someone in a dream, raping the self in a dream.
Corpse.
That's right, a dead corpse you were raping. And what we're saying is that this confusion has led to an evil you've done to the self. We want you to understand that the only evil you have ever done has been to yourself. And this is why you wanted to make friends with us, but particularly Little Dale, to become so relaxed and so comfortable while seeing great and minor work done. And to see that with many things in life, it's all just a part of the pain and the duality of life, where we laugh and cry together. And this is the relieving of you holding yourself responsible. And for the rest of your life, you can learn to just you're very, very humble, very, very quick-witted, and very, very humorous, and you understand people really well. But these 2 or 3 areas have been a little bit damaged. Do these exercises to help yourself continue on your path. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you agree? This is a long-term thing to put into your writing, your journaling, and to put it in there and think about it occasionally. And if you find yourself upset or holding responsible for other people, go back and look at that list again and see if you can see the difference between what is evil and what is duality, and understand the only evil you do is when you occasionally harm your own self. And this is a deep thing that you will still spend some time reviewing and overcoming.